I've been a Southern Baptist for 61 years, and they ain't never given me a check like that. I'm having second thoughts about all this stuff. I got to be honest with you. Assalamu alaikum. Honestly, I want to thank you. You have no idea, the El-Hibri family, the El-Hibri Foundation, Farhan, Majid, you have no idea how much this means to me. It may sound odd to you. I can't go back and brag to my evangelical friends, I got a Muslim award, but the truth of the matter is, I think Jesus is more happy about this than any tribal award I could get from the people that I'm tied to. I want to thank the El-Hibri Foundation for walking with us, connecting us. It's tough. I'm an evangelical. Muslims are scared to death of us. You're Muslims. We evangelicals are scared of you. And so it's hard to raise money from people who are scared to one another. They'll give you money to convert one another, even if you got a bad plan. But to get along, no, not so much. But that's what we're about. Majid and I, and David Saperstein, we're all about, frankly, converting everyone to the love of God. Now, I call that love Jesus. You'd call it different things. But love ought to be the primary factor that characterizes all that we do. I know Muslims, your word is mercy. Ours as Christians, it's love. And you can't have one without the other. Tragically, something that has sped up the work that I do a tremendous amount is all the hate that's going on. And when I realize the Muslim American community and what you've gone through, it breaks my heart. Foolish things are debated. Is there such a thing as Islamophobia? I wonder sometimes, how can someone even debate that? What is that about? It makes me sad. And it really bothers me as an evangelical. The majority of that comes from my tribe. It breaks my heart. It embarrasses me. And I just simply was raised believing as a little boy what I was taught, that Jesus loves everybody. The problem was, it's one thing to say Jesus loves everybody. It's quite a different thing to really love everybody. And that's what I had to learn. It pushed me across the line. And the only group, honestly, that have a more negative view of Muslims and evangelicals are evangelical pastors. And just like in the Middle East, there are imams that say bad things about Christians in America. So in America, there are pastors who say negative things about Islam. I teach young pastors all the time, never, never, never vilify another religion. If your religion is strong because you have to trash another religion, you have a pretty weak faith. Your faith must be something that you live out in all that you do. I hate the term Trump evangelicals. I'm not saying anything. I worked with President Obama. I worked with President Bush. I worked with President Clinton, all their administrations. I'm working with President Trump's administration as well to make a difference in the world. But I owe no political party my soul. I believe clerics have a responsibility to be prophetic and to be challenging, not to be pundits or partisans. I think the moment we wrap our flag in the cross or the crescent or the Star of David, we have denied the fundamental truth of what this country is all about. Let other nations do what they will. This is America. Freedom of religion for all. And any hate that comes across is untenable, it's unthinkable, it's un-American, and it's especially un-Christian. I speak to more Muslims and Muslim gatherings than probably any Protestant pastor in America. It's strange to me. But here's what I believe with all of my heart. As much as I would like to baptize every single one of you, more than anything else, a person has to own their mind. And I would rather somebody choose a faith honestly than to choose my faith dishonestly. You can't fix this, but I can. You're not an evangelical, but I am. You can't gripe at evangelicals. They'll just get angry with you, but I'm one of them. So I can. And so Majid and I, we convene. We can get them together. I grew a big church, started a lot of churches, so I can get people to come. I convene, we converse, we collaborate, and then we go to the congregation, because the truth of the matter is, it's really not about us clerics. It's about getting to the masses and what that looks like. And that's why it's spread out. So 15 cities, yeah, but I'm going for 50. 5 countries, yes, but we're going for 25. 500,000 impact, no, I'm a Baptist. We're going to take over the whole world. I want to see people of all faiths learning to be present in the public square, not compromising what they believe, just be nice about it. Why do we have to be so mean about what we disagree? People keep asking me, what made you this way? And I've thought a lot about it. I think one thing is I was raised in Texas. We go all the way back to the Alamo. Don't mess with me. But being raised in Texas, I was an insider, but I grew up in little towns because my dad pastored little churches. And if you weren't born in that little town, you didn't fit. Here's what I learned real quick. If I didn't reach out to people, I wouldn't have any friends. That was a big deal. Here's the second thing I learned growing up in East Texas. We didn't know what civil rights were or racial reconciliation. That didn't matter to us. It wasn't a sad day when Martin Luther King was assassinated. He was one of those troublemakers. Sad, but what do you expect? And then as I got older and I watched Eye on the Prize and other things, it broke my heart when I was watching what was going on the television, and it hit me, and I realized that's my tribe. That's my people. And it broke my heart. And I thought, how could I be a part of a tribe who loved me so much to raise me, but would also push against that and be a part of that? I think the next thing that happened to me as I got older, I remember signing up for the draft in 1975 as a senior in high school. Those godless Vietnamese communists. Didn't have to go, but 20 years later, I landed on the tarmac of the famous airport in Saigon that had been abandoned by American military, where thousands of soldiers' bodies were in bodies bags stacked on that runway. It was March the 20th. I wrote my mom a poem on that tarmac saying, "Hey, Mom, I'm alive. And that's the greatest gift I have to offer you on your birthday today." But 20 years after that, I arrived in 1995 to do what? Work with Vietnamese, build clinics, schools, hospitals. And I've become friends with Vietnamese. As a matter of fact, did you know that there are Muslims in Vietnam, in central Vietnam? And guess what? There's an invitation from their State Department to welcome Muslims that I was able to broker to come and visit the Muslims in Vietnam. How about that for religious freedom? But only thing is, they only want happy Muslims to come and see them. I think the final thing that happened that shifted my life was working with Muslims. After 9/11, everybody wanted me to go to Afghanistan and do there what I'd done in Vietnam. I don't use profanity, but my first response was, hell no, I'm not going there. I'm scared of those Muslims. They'll cut my head off or something like that, and I didn't want to mess with them. Who would know I'd become friends with a real live warlord? Who would know that he and I would become close friends? Who would have known that he would have introduced me to imams, and we would start with American pastors and imams building clinics and schools and all kind of work and things that to this day are going on. That's how I got to know Muslims. And if these Afghan Muslims were the worst kind and I'd become friends with them, what would that look like? Close with this. There's a verse in the Bible, Luke 9:23. It says, I've always wanted to do that because when Majid is speaking, he speaks in Arabic and then he quotes it. So, in Christian, here's what that verse says. If any man will come after me, let him deny himself daily, take up his cross, and follow me. Now, here's the traditional translation of that verse. Here's all it means. If you're going to follow Jesus, you need to love him so much, obey him so much, that you're willing to give your life for him. That's it. But I was studying that about a year ago, and there's another translation to that. Here's what Jesus says. If any man will follow me, In other words, if you want to be like Jesus, who are you willing to go to the cross for? Even if they don't like you, even if they don't appreciate you, who do you love so much that you will go to the cross and give your life for them? For me, that answer is easy. It's you Muslims. I love you. I care about you. I'll never deny my faith. And I'll share my faith with you any opportunity that I get that you want to hear. But I will fight for your opportunity to practice your faith and neither deny your faith. Thank you very much.